What is up, guys? Welcome on back to the third mock draft for 2024. I was going to do 2 rounds, but I had another one that I did, and I think this draft is so all over the place. I really don't know who people would get or who I would get, um, based on kind of post, like I said, post combine slash um, free agency and things like that. So I'll try to be as accurate as possible. This is on the 11th of March as of right now. Kirk Cousins doesn't have a home. Um, Russell Wilson doesn't yet, but we're kind of sure where they're both going to go. So trying to think who else. There was another quarterback. Kirk Cousins is probably going to Atlanta, and Russell Wilson's might be going to the Steelers. That's where it's looking like now. I'm trying to think if there's a third one. I can't recall. Hopefully it'll trigger my memory on the when I start doing the draft. But anyway, we'll do another one. It'll just be a first round. My next one or last one or whatever, I'll do another one after the free agency. That'll probably be a multiple round, maybe first 2 or 3 rounds. But I don't see any reason to do 2-round drafts, a 2-round mock draft. But anyway, let's select all. Again, we're on Pro Football. Oh God, what's this called? Pro Football Network. I think it's called Network. Pro Football Network. But anyway, if you guys want to do these, it's a great site and it's pretty user friendly. So let's go slow. Let's go all, and let's go. Again, these mock drafts are what I would do if I was the general manager. I might mix in a little bit kind of what I'm hearing. Like perfect example is McCarthy, the quarterback out of Michigan. I'm not overly high on him, but apparently like GMs and stuff are very high on him. So I might put him a spot that I would put somewhere else, but I'm going to pretty much stick to my guns and draft this the way that I would draft as if I was drafting for the team. So with that being said, Chicago's probably not going to change. I'm going to, if I'm them, I'm keeping Marvin Harrison. Justin Fields drafted Marvin Harrison. Washington, same thing. I'm high on Daniels. I think he can come in and play right away. I think come in and play well. I don't know if there's a superstar right off the bat quarterback in this draft. I'm obviously not as high on Caleb Williams as others are. I think people need to kind of watch. Do yourselves a favor. Watch a game or two and then watch his highlights. He's really honestly only good when the play's broken up. He's not. Like when I watch his game, it doesn't look NFL ready. It just does not look. Now, he could be good eventually. I think he's a project. I don't think he's a plug and play right off the bat. So anyway, with that being said, I think he's a little bit more of a plug and play. He can put on some weight. Jaden Daniels. And I think he's just going to end up being a better quarterback. He throws the ball almost like he's not even trying. He's very, very good. He's a very natural football player. All right, so with that being said, the Patriots, this is another pick that I'm going to kind of go based on what will probably happen if the draft goes this way, and kind of what I would do as a combo. The Patriots to me need a lot. I've been putting offensive linemen there. I would fight for an offensive lineman to go there. I know they just got rid of Mac Jones. This one I've battled with a little bit because it could be any one of the 3 guys. If the draft goes this way, it could be any one of those 3 guys, the top 3 guys. It could be any one of them. I don't think they'll go Drake May. I don't think they'll do Drake May. I think they would jump on Caleb Williams in reality. My reality, if I were them, I would honestly try to get a quarterback like a Zach Wilson or something. I know he sucks. I know. Try to get a couple of quarterbacks who quite haven't worked out, have them play it out. Grab an offensive lineman, and then see where you're at quarterback-wise next year. I don't think any of these guys here are worth grabbing right here at 3. I know people are going to be like, this guy's an idiot. You're going to turn off right away. They would grab. In reality, this is who they're grabbing. Caleb Williams is gone by 3. In reality, if I were them, I would fight tooth and nail, grab Joe Alt, and then let's see what we got. Maybe draft a quarterback later. I think you can get a good quarterback in the 2nd round and see what you have. I would have kept Mac Jones, but that looks like a relationship thing. That's why he's gone. But anyway, Cardinals, if I am the Cardinals, They can go to a couple of different directions. Now that Joe Alt is gone, the Cardinals' number one need is corner, and in my opinion, there's a corner in this draft that I think is a true number one corner. There's only one of them, and if I'm the Cardinals, I'm how the hell am I grabbing? Oh man, there's two players here. I don't know who I'm gonna grab. You know, hold on. If I'm the Cardinals, let me change what I'm doing. If I'm the Cardinals, I need someone who's going to come in and be someone who loves the game, has a good work ethic. I think that's what the Cardinals are missing. There's a receiver here. I do not think he's a better receiver than the next guy underneath him, but I loved what he did at the combine. I love that he stayed after and was trying to get certain times and seemed very committed. This guy's going to be a very good football player. He's a very fluid route runner. You can't lose drafting him, and I think they should add a receiver here. I was going to add a corner, but I personally, I think this guy personality-wise fits there great, and it's Rome Odunze. Now, do I think Malik Nabers maybe has a higher upside? Absolutely. I actually think that the guy from Florida State, trying to think of his name now, has a higher upside. But Rome Odunze, I think, is a not only is a great on-the-field player, but he's what the hell's his name? Receivers. Keon Coleman. I think Keon Coleman, Harrison, and let's go to all here. What was I saying? Coleman, Harrison, and Nabers. Those are the three receivers in this draft. Odunze as well. Those are the top four. You get any one of those four guys, you're doing well. So I think he's a locker room fit and an on the field fit. I think the Cardinals need to establish an identity. That there's a few teams that need to do that, and they're one of them. Anyway, the Chargers, I'm going to go Quinion Mitchell. This is what I was going to get for Arizona. Quinion Mitchell, I think, is the best probably defensive player in the draft, to be honest. He's the best defensive player in the draft. He should be the first one off the board. I don't think there's a ton of... I think there's a lot of really good players in this draft, but I don't think there's many stars. There's not a lot of guys that are going to be getting max contracts later on. The receiver-wise, maybe. Quarterbacks, maybe one or two. I don't think there's a ton of quarterbacks in this draft that are like stars. Not like last year where we had, like C.J. Stroud and everything. But I think this draft is full of good, solid starters. That's what I think. This draft is just completely, it's full of them. But anyway, the Giants, I'm going Caleb Williams here. He won't pass the Giants. This is where he should be going in reality. The head coach there is really good with quarterbacks. The Giants need to kind of start again a little bit. He'll inject some life into that franchise. And I think the Giants are a team that they've been struggling for long enough. They can get a quarterback who they can go through some growing pains with and start building that defense. They got a good young defense. They've got some good young players. They just got rid of their running back. But I think Caleb Williams would really fit them well. He can kind of, like I said, he can kind of grow with them, learn underneath Daboll. I think that'd be an excellent. I'm telling you, that is the fit. That is the fit for Caleb Williams. Anyway, Tennessee, again, I think the perfect fit is Brock Bowers there. It's a perfect fit. Gives their new franchise quarterback a nice, big, reliable target. He can block as well. Tennessee's a little bit of kind of I don't know how the new coach is going to be, but I know they're kind of like built like a bruising kind of, running the ball, chunk you down. They have some players that can make big plays, but I think Tennessee, if they want to go receiver, they can go in the next round. They can go get a Worthy, someone like that. Mitchell if he drops. But Brock Bowers to me is the guy right here for Tennessee. He might go earlier than that, though. A lot of people have him at San Diego. I honestly don't think San Diego is going to go in that direction. I think, especially with that coach, and to me, common sense-wise, San Diego's offenses, LA Chargers, they need to work on that defense. That defense is in rough shape. I wouldn't be surprised if they grab like a Dallas Turner, like another pass rusher. Because from what I understand, Boza and Mack are on the trading block. I don't know what they'll get for him, but from what I understand, they both are. So Tennessee can go a ton of different places, but I think if they keep those two guys, the Chargers go a ton of places, but if they keep those two guys and add a good corner with that offense, I think they'll be significantly better. All right, anyway, Atlanta, if I'm Atlanta, I am grabbing Dallas Turner. But if Malik Nabers is there, I highly consider that. If Fashanu is still there, I highly consider it. Atlanta, I'm assuming he's going to grab Kirk Cousins. He's going to have 3 stars on the offensive side to throw the ball to and hand off. Yeah, Atlanta's offense will be fine. They need to get that defense going. I think Turner's a great athlete. I don't know if he's a 10 sack a year guy, but that's to be determined. But from what I've seen on film and highlights and things like that, he looks like he's the real deal. So it looks like he's gonna be really good. All right, Chicago's up again. If I'm Chicago, I'm looking at this, and if I've decided to keep Justin Fields, this is a fuck you year. It really is a fuck you year. Fuck you attitude. I'm grabbing Neighbors. Grabbing Neighbors. We have Harrison Jr. and Neighbors, and with Justin Fields, build that defense later on. I mean, if Fields can't flourish in that, no one can. Like, if he just can't flourish there, he's not the guy. So I think Fields will be an absolute superstar with those two guys to throw the ball to. I know it's getting a little greedy on the offensive side, but I think the Bears were what 7-10 last year, and they started playing well at the end of the year. So they obviously are talented. So the big thing was just the consistency of the quarterback and the team. So you grab those two receivers, I think it'll be fun. I think the offense will be obviously significantly better. All right, so the Jets at number 10. Desperate need of a lineman. A really good one drops to them. Fashanu, I think, is the pick there. They could go Drake May, grab the quarterback for the future. They go Arnold. Then go Latu, who's actually moving up a lot of people's boards. I'm not as big a fan of him as the NFL scouts are, but who the fuck am I, Anyway, the Vikings are up, and Drake May's there. They're going to grab Drake May. If Drake May drops, they'll grab him. I don't know if they're going to do a free agency or, who they're going to get. But if they don't get a quarterback and Drake May drops, I'm running the card up there and going, hey, let's just see what the fuck this guy's got and try to develop him. And like I said, who knows what their vision is. But my vision would be, hey, just describe this guy here. He's got the tools to be a great quarterback. We just have to be patient with him. They got two great receivers. They'll probably end up having to trade. Jefferson's probably not going to want to play with the young quarterback, so they'll get some value back from that as well. So they can just kind of rebuild that. The Vikings kind of need to rebuild. They really do. They kind of need to rebuild. So I would see what you can get for Jefferson while his value is extremely high, and I would grab May if he drops, and just kind of pile draft picks. That's what I would do. But anyway, the Broncos are up next. Now this is a pick that, in reality, I think they would go J.J. McCarthy here. If I'm them and I want to grab a quarterback, which they desperately need one, I don't think they're going to grab one that's I'll grab a veteran. I don't think they'll be able to get one. I'm grabbing Bo Nix. But in reality, I think if this plays out similar to this, I think McCarthy's the pick here. I look at McCarthy. When I draft a quarterback, or when I'm looking at quarterback, I look at what's your ceiling. That's why I was high on Anthony Richardson, and I was so high on Will Levis, and also CJ Stroud. That's why I wasn't as high on Bryce Young. I think those Levis, Stroud, and Richardson, I think their ceilings are significantly higher than Bryce Young. Bryce Young is he's very limited physically. And so that's kind of where I draft, hey, where is your potential? What can you be in 2 or 3 years? Can you be a star? Can you be, not necessarily, hey, can you play today? Jaden Daniels, I like better because I think he can play today, and I think he can be a star later on. Caleb Williams might be a star, may not be. He's got an ego. He's going to have to get humble a little bit. I think he'll do a good job with that. He seems to be able to, or seems to have that in his mentality. I just think he's got to get, I think Caleb Williams or Dayball can be kind of his Andy Reid. That's kind of where I see that relationship. But anyway, if I'm the Broncos, I go grab Bo Nix. I love Bo Nix. I think Bo Nix is excellent. I think he's going to be good at the next level. I think he'll be fine for Rookie of the Year, especially if he goes to the Broncos with that coach. All right, the Raiders. All right, the Raiders need a quarterback, tackle, defensive tackle. They don't need an edge. Corner. If I'm the Raiders, I'm grabbing Fuaga. I think they need to build that line. I think he can play either side. I think he can play a guard. Fuaga, I love. He's one of the best offensive linemen in the whole draft. You may as well go grab him. And like I said, you can grab a quarterback later. I would not reach for a quarterback in this draft. I just would not, especially in the first round. I personally wouldn't, but I think it's gonna be like 5 quarterbacks picked in the first round this year. But and then they're gonna regret it. All right, the Saints. Tackle, guard, DT, edge, quarterback. Huh. I think they need to work on their offense if they want to win now. They've got 2 quarterbacks. I grab Latham. I don't know if he's going to be a left tackle or right tackle, but I grab Latham. I think he's a good player. I think he's kind of a plug-and-play guy. He may or may not be a star, but I think he can come at least be a solid starter right off the bat. All right, the Colts, wide receiver, corner, DT. That's all I need to see. There's a couple of guys. There's a guy that's really moving up on my board, big time, and I think he would fit them very, very well. But especially with the new quarterback, if I'm them, I'm grabbing Brian Thomas. I'm grabbing the receiver out of LSU. He's tall. He's like 6'4". He's a little bit lanky, but I think he ran like a 4'3", like a low 4'3s. And when you watch him play, he looks like the real deal. He's excellent. He can high point balls. He looks like a great route runner. He runs very smooth. Brian Thomas seems to be like, he might be the surprise guy to the draft. Like, even though he's going to be drafted in the first round, I think he might be the surprise of the draft. He's really good. Brian Thomas is excellent. All right, the Seahawks. Guard, center, linebacker. Ooh. Now, is that linebacker like a edge, or is that linebacker like a middle linebacker? Defensive tackle, corner. You guys, if you've been watching at all, you know me. I'm an inside-out guy. They're a power team. I think their defense wasn't very good last year. Who's their quarterback? They don't need a quarterback? I think they need a quarterback. All right, I'm them grab Johnny Newton. I think Johnny Newton's a premier defensive tackle. I think he's kind of like, when I watch him, he kind of reminds me like a Christian Wilkins. He's not like a Ndamukong Suh who's going to come in and dominate right off the bat, but he's a high motor guy. He's a really good player, and I think he'll be a good solid starter for a long time. Like I said, I don't know if there's a lot of stars in this draft except for receivers, and maybe a quarterback, but the receivers are where it's at in this draft. But I think Johnny Newton, I think he's a plug and play kind of long time starter. I really, that's what I think he is. Will he be dominant? I don't know, but I think he'd be very good. I think you draft Johnny Newton, your team's instantly better. All right, so the Jacksonville Jaguars, the newest home of Mac Jones, grabbed I should have drafted for the Jaguars for the Seattle, but all right, if I'm them, I'm just grabbing Arnold. Grabbing Terry and Arnold. They need a corner. He's the best one there. He probably will not drop this low. I don't know how this draft's going to work out. My guess is he won't drop that low. But from when I saw the combine, he dropped a little bit for me. Not only did he drop a little bit, but Mitchell skyrocketed for me as far as just 40 time, and went back and I watched some games of his, and I watched more of his highlights, and Mitchell is the real deal. That guy is a bona fide, he's the best defensive player in this draft. At least coming out of college. He may end up being, not as good as someone else, but I think he's the best player of the draft as far as defensively. All right, the Bengals. They need defensive tackle and offensive tackle. Tight end, corner. If they need offensive tackle that bad, I don't know. They might grab Byron Murphy here. But Mims, I would grab Mims. If they need offensive tackle, you got to protect Burrow. He's getting hit too goddamn much. So I think they're going to focus on protecting Burrow. I think Burrow needs protection more than he needs great receivers. That's why they're letting these receivers go. He's already got Jamar Chase. You get a couple of good veterans who can run routes or second round picks. They'll be fine. They'll be fine. They'll be fine on offense. If you have a like premier top tier, in my opinion, he's a top tier quarterback. Your offense, you'll be fine. And he's got one really good receiver. You'll be fine. You can you can go in free agency, grab the receivers, you can grab tight end. I think you need to get him lineman. And I think if Mims is there, he's massive too, if I remember right. Yeah, he's 6'7", 340. He's fucking huge. You go get him a big ass hoss like that to protect his blind side or whatever. And if he's any good, that'll be a massive upgrade. All right, LA Rams, who completely overachieved last year. That coach, Sean McVay, I've kind of been low on because I don't like the trade that he made. But he seems to just kind of always... This team's always seems to be well coached. I got to give him props. He's turned the corner for me. I think he's a really good coach. They need a corner and an edge. I'll give him the guy that's moving up all the GM's draft board. I like him. I don't love him, but I also didn't love Andrew Van Ginkel out of college, and he ended up being really good. So I'll just grab the two. He's got a high motor. He's got everything you're kind of looking for. His build is kind of. He looks a little soft build wise. He's not like big, massive, like, but that doesn't mean a ton. He looks like a very good athlete. I think he's overrated. But since the NFL scouts seem to really love him, I'm going to have to put him on my radar for that reason. Because they probably see something that I don't. They've watched a lot more film on him. So since they're rating him as high as they are, I'm putting him a little higher on my board for that reason. And I love the high motor guys, so that makes a good sense to put him in LA. And I think McVay likes high motor guys too. He likes his team working hard. So anyway, let's keep the two at the Rams. So the Steelers are grabbing Russell Wilson. And I don't know how much my pick's going to change here. Corner, tackle, center. Oh, shoot. Safety. Oh, sorry. I am going to change my pick. If I am the Steelers and oh, shoot. Hold on. Tackle. This guy here, I don't know. I can't see his name real good. He's not a tackle. He's a guard. This guy's a really good center. I don't know if they'll grab that in the first round. But I think Pittsburgh's a team that'll just grab whatever they need. The best player at their need. The number one need is corner. I don't know if I grab Nate Wiggins here. I've had Jared Verse going there, but it looks like they don't need a pass rusher. This is a tough one because they do play 34. They could grab like a Byron Murphy. Someone like that. With no problem. Put him at 34 end. I'd like to see him get another receiver, but... You know, let's go Byron Murphy. Let's go Byron Murphy for the Steelers. I think he can play 34 end. I think he can play an end or tackle. I don't know how big is he. I think he's more of a 34 end. Yeah, 6'2", 297. Yeah, I think they put him at 34 end. But they play 34. They just need gap fillers. That's what they need. They need people who can fill gap. Yeah, he seems like a really good 34 end. Yeah, he seems like a good 34 end. All right. Miami Dolphins are up next, who I would love the Dolphins to grab him. The Dolphins, in my opinion, are good at tackle. They're fine at tackle. I think they need a center or an inside player. I think this guy here was very high up on a lot of people's boards. Hot will be a guard at the next level. He was a guard at Washington. Okay, so I'm going to pass on him if he's like that. I'm just going to grab Johnson. Miami needs interior linemen. They need them badly. And if if Connor Williams comes back, I think they need to kick him inside to guard. He flubbed too many snaps. I know for some reason people think he's this big great center. He's a great blocking center, but there was a lot of snaps that were not very good. So I think Miami bolsters that offensive line, which they desperately need to do. They're getting ready to lose Robert Hunt. They signed Armstead, who doesn't play every game. He's always hurt. Hopefully he can walk when he retires. Who else are they going to lose? I think Eichenberg. Maybe they're going to lose Eichenberg. But yeah, the Dolphins need to get linemen. They need to get linemen. They need to stop calling up these people from the practice squad to start. Get some good linemen. All right, the Eagles. I'm going to put Cooper DeJean. They just got rid of one of the best safeties. They're getting one of the best defensive players in the draft, one of the best just football players in the draft. Drops right down to him. And he won't play corner in the NFL much. He'll probably be a nickel. But I think he's going to be a Pro Bowl safety. And I think it's a perfect spot for DeJean. Right there in that city. They'll love him. Right there with that coaching staff. They'll love him. He's a plug-and-play. I think a plug-and-play guy. I think he'll put in the work to be really good. I think he'll be one of the best players of the draft. All right, rolling right along. They need a defensive tackle, wide receiver, corner. I don't think they go receiver here. It wouldn't surprise me if they did. I don't think they will. They need defensive tackle. I don't know if there's a guy here willing to grab. Leonard Taylor, I'm not a huge fan of. I would grab Verse. No, hold on. Yeah, I would grab Verse. Put him on the other side of Will Anderson. That's what I would do. Because here's the thing with Jared Verse. He's a very good player. He's actually very strong for his size. But I think he's kind of one-dimensional. That's the problem with him. That's the issue with him. So I think they run a 43. I think he put his hand on the ground. I don't remember if they run a 34, 43. I think he can do either one. But he's basically strictly a pass rusher right now. He could branch onto other things. He looks very athletic, so I think he can be a very good all-around player. But right now, his best asset is to rush the passer, and I think that's where they're going to put him. Put him as a pass rusher, and he doesn't have to be the main guy, which would be kind of less stress and stuff like that on him. He can just kind of learn. All right, the Cowboys. The Cowboys need a tackle, linebacker, center. I know a lot of people are down on the owner. I think he's a good GM, so I think I'll put whoever's good for them. I think he likes big time players. I think he likes big time players, big personalities and everything. But I think they kind of just batten down the hatches to go Guyton here. He looks like a Cowboy to me. 6'7", 322. He's built like a Cowboy lineman, and that to me is where I would go. I would go Tyler Guyton there. I think it's a perfect guy to drop right to him. All right, for the Packers. See, they put linebacker here. I don't know if they have pass rusher or not. Center, tackle. See, they're going to have to move up. They're going to have to move up. I'm sorry. I don't know if they're losing in free agency. I don't know what their roster's like. I think to grab someone like him is a little bit of a reach. How fast is he? He's not 354, it's like 254. Huh. Yeah, they're gonna have to move up because their needs are all gonna be basically gone. They could grab Taylor. If I'm the GM there and this is what I have to work with and we need a defensive tackle, I might grab... Oh, hold on. Hold on. Hold on. All right, I'm going to tell you right now. There's a guy I think is going to move up. There's a guy I think is going to move up. And it's this guy right here. I'm going to put Peyton Wilson there. I'm going to put Peyton Wilson there. Because of his combine was very good. I know he's rated 64 in this, but Peyton Wilson is someone I think would fit perfectly there. He was very, very fast. His tape is pretty good on. Hold on, guys. 1 second. All right, sorry about that. It was that was Amazon. All right, so coming up next we have the Buccaneers. They need a center, edge, guard. I'm grabbing this guy here. Boom. That's where he's gonna go. If he could play the one, fine. I'd like to see him inside. I think he'd be good. I think he'd be a really good inside offensive lineman. And they need an offensive line, and I think they're gonna keep Mayfield. So, but if you need linemen, there's not a ton left. He was a highly rated guy this year. I don't know why he's kind of dropping a little bit. But all right, next Arizona's coming up next, and who do we give him the first go around? Give him a receiver. I'm Arizona. I'm grabbing Kool-Aid. He is number two, kind of number 2 corner, but he's a good solid starter, I think. And so I'm taking some pills, but again, they need some personality in that team and some leadership. I don't think the quarterback's providing that. So Kool-Aid is where I would go there. All right, Buffalo Bills. Buffalo just got rid of their best corner. I think they just cut him. If I'm Buffalo, we have to replace that. Nate Wiggins is a guy I'm not overly high on as far as his film goes, but as far as his ability, his athletic ability, and I think his speed, and he's kind of like to me he's like the defensive Caleb Williams in this. He needs to go to the right coach. I think Nate Wiggins would be a perfect fit with them. I know the receiver out of Lad McConkey I really like there too, but if Nate Wiggins drops here, I don't see them passing up on him. They can put him in, coach him up. I think he'll struggle a little bit, but I think he's on a team that can afford to draft someone they can guide a little bit. But anyway, so we have the Detroit Lions. They need an edge rusher. They need a wide receiver. They need a corner. It'd be really hard for me to pass up on Keon Coleman here. Like, very difficult. There's not really any corners left to grab. I don't think their need at receivers all that high. I really don't. I'm going Chop here. I think you put him on the other side of Hutchinson, that'd be great. Or you can grab, I think Kamari Lassiter is an actual fit in that franchise. I think Kamari Lassiter is he's like a dog, man. The guy's a bulldog. He plays hard, he tackles, he hits. He's a Detroit Lion, but I think if I'm the Lions there, Chop Robinson's a very good aggressive player too. So I would grab Chop there and just try to solidify that pass rush as best I could. All right, so the Ravens are up next. They need a running back, but they're not grabbing one here. Wide receiver, defensive tackle, edge. I'm grabbing Keon Coleman here. I'm running that card as fast as I fucking can. I'm sprinting up. There's fire coming out of my asshole. And Keon Coleman is my next fucking big receiver. In fact, he'll be the number 1 receiver. Zay Flowers may not even be the number 1 receiver there. Keon Coleman is, to me, is special. He's fucking awesome. I know he's dropping a little bit, so that's kind of why I dropped him in my draft a little bit, but I do think Keon Coleman's a real deal. Anyway, San Francisco, let's get this shit done so I can play some Rainbow. All right, so they need a tackle, edge and corner, guard, defensive tackle. They need a guard. I'm grabbing Graham Barton. Graham Barton, that guy, he's awesome. I'd love Miami to grab him. I almost grabbed him for Miami, but I don't see Graham Barton leaving the first round. I think he's really, really good. He's got as far as linemen go, besides maybe like a Joe Alt or the guy from Penn State, Fasano, he's got the most potential out of all of them. He's really good. He's a great football player, this guy. But elite athleticism, overwhelming power, physicality. See, I'd love the Dolphins to grab him here, but I think they're desperate for a true center. So I think Jackson Powers Johnson is a good fit there for the Dolphins. He's only 21 years old. Yeah, I mean, he's alert. I like that for the Dolphins, but if they go either one of those two guys, I'll be doing backflips for joy. All right, so the Chiefs. I'd grab a Donnie Mitchell. I wouldn't grab Worthy here. Hold on. Let me change that. I'll tell you the guy who I love. He's an elite route runner, and I think he'll fit great in this. I think a Donnie Mitchell would fit perfectly too. I'd be happy to grab him. I think Troy Franklin. Troy, you put Troy Franklin with look at the full results. You throw Troy Franklin with Mahomes. He's a great route runner. He's fast, and I think he would surprise people. You put him next to Rashee Rice. That's a nice offense, man. That's a really, really, really nice offense. Because remember, the Chiefs are not a big play team. They were only a big play team because of Hill. They're not a big play team. They're kind of not a dink and dunk, but they're very precise, well-oiled kind of machine offense. And you give Mahomes Franklin on the other side, that team would be fucking hard to stop. And especially if Kelsey comes back, which I'm pretty sure they will. But anyway, hopefully you guys like this draft. I think this draft is kind of working out to where I think it may go as far as what I would do as far as if I was a GM. But we got to see what happens in free agency and everything. But I wanted to throw this out there just to kind of have another draft for you guys to watch. And I don't see this changing a ton. Maybe some people move. But after the combine, like people like Mitchell moved up. To me, Caleb Williams stayed about the same. Dallas Turner, I already knew he was going to be good and fast. See, the problem with the quarterbacks is we didn't see them. That's the problem with the quarterbacks. I haven't seen the pro days or nothing. That's a problem. I do know this guy here. Where is he? Where's that quarterback? Oh, shit, I even dropped him in the first round. The quarterback out of Michigan was like overthrowing people and shit. And he didn't look that good. He really did not look that good. He played on a great team, but I think it's part of the coaching. Brian Thomas moved up for me. Johnny Newton stayed about the same, but he did drop in the draft because other people dropped and went up. Terrion Arnold only dropped because he went up. Latu went up because of what the scouts are saying to me. I don't see what they see, but I could be wrong there, so that's why I'm kind of giving them the benefit of the doubt. Cooper DeJean, I know he was injured. He couldn't really compete, but now they're putting him at safety. I think it's the perfect spot for him. Peyton Wilson really, really helped himself with the combine. He kind of was the one I think is going to move up, and I think someone's going to pick him in the first round, like Green Bay, who just needs a good player at that position, and they're not going to care about where other people are put. Peyton Wilson's just a great fit there. I think Kool-Aid could go anywhere from 10 or 11 to here. Kool-Aid can go anywhere. Nate Wiggins could go anywhere. He really helped himself with that really fast 40. I just think he's 6'4", like 175 pounds. He needs to mature physically. He can go to Buffalo and not necessarily have to be the number one guy there. They can kind of fill that in with defensive schemes and things like that. They have a good defensive coach. Chop Robinson, same thing. Chop Robinson could go up here. Can go up here. Who knows? If someone loves him, they can go over here. Who knows? But Robinson moved up. Keon Coleman stayed the same for me. I knew he wasn't going to be a Blazer. I didn't know he was going to run 4.6, but when you watch him on the field, he's a fast, athletic guy, and people will have a hard time covering him. And just the more I watch of Troy Franklin, the more I think he really should be moved up in the draft. I think he's special, that guy, as far as route running. He's going to be the guy that surprises people. All right, anyway, that's it. Hope you guys enjoyed, and I'll see you later.